So I have been thinking about this a little bit, and it's probably no surprise at this point that Forza Horizon 6 looks really good. Like, being real, people are excited. You can obviously feel like the hype people are having and stuff like that by all different comments and things like that. But you know what, though, at the same time, man, I'm kind of feeling there's like hesitation, and I've been noticing that with like comments or, certain, things being said. And that's the thing. Like, I don't know if it has to do with anything specific about Forza Horizon 6 or like what they were showing. But I kind of think it's more of the fact of how modern game launches have kind of taught us to be like, oh, whoa, hold on a minute there. Are we actually getting that, or is everything going to be what we kind of expect? It's kind of along the lines of modern game launches in recent time, kind of just basically leaving everybody with a sour taste in their mouths at this point. And what's kind of wild about this, though, is I do feel like this comes down to multiple different things. And I feel like a lot of people really have the right to actually feel this way, man, because if we do look back at a lot of modern game launches, and you can even compare this to some of, Forza Horizon 4 and 5 and stuff like that, or what fans have been noticing there. I won't dive too much into that because obviously I would say most people are aware. I was kind of more along the lines of the modern gaming issue that is a thing right now of how so many games launch, and yeah, I'll talk about that in a second. But it's kind of crazy because I have been noticing that there's a lot of excitement, but a lot of people seem to be like skeptic about that, which you know what? It makes sense though, dude, because here's the thing. I am in ways kind of on the part of fans wanting to believe, but most likely holding back with the game, or like, okay, well, let's just wait and see type of thing. As the trailer, the gameplay looks really good. Let's kind of see how all this plays out, because people are looking at recent game launches. They could have looked even Forza Horizon 5, for example. Now, I'm sure you guys probably are aware of how like the entire development of that game was basically hell in a lot of ways, because they had so many issues with everything because of COVID and all that, which there was an article about that. I can talk about that in a separate video if you guys would like to, but I feel like a lot of people look at those things or look at recent games that have come out and go, man, I mean, we wanna believe, fans want to be excited for it, but at the same time, you kind of have to really look at that and go, okay, well, I do understand why people are skeptic about it, or I do understand why they are cautious. A lot of people are excited, but kind of keeping that hype down a bit just until they see more stuff, or wondering if everything will be delivered. And to be honest, man, I don't really think that's negativity. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of think people have kind of just learned this behavior after the course of how games have been and stuff. And that's kind of just what is in everybody's mind. And to be real, you really can't blame people, man. I mean, we're kind of at a pattern right now of a lot of games having insane reveals, or like over-promising reveals and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, you get super excited, then get the game, and you're like, oh, yeah, this needed more time in the oven. And I think if it got 2 or 3 more years, it'd probably be a pretty solid game. And then it will release unfinished, and then guess what that's going to cause? They'll have to then fix it with the lovely live service model, which I feel like a lot of people in ways are tired of seeing a game come out, or like they say it's early access, or you could play the game and realize that it feels like a DLC, or it does feel like early access. And I kind of think people are tired of the live service like fatigue thing. Oh, don't worry, guys, we will get this game in tip-top shape, yeah, in like 2 or 3 years. Releasing a game unfinished is something that people are probably kind of tired of, I would probably say. So yeah, it makes sense how a lot of people are thinking this way, man. Like, looking at the recent releases, I won't name the games off because we are probably are aware of them at this point. But if you're releasing a game like that, the servers don't work. A lot of things are just not there. Features are not there. The game kind of just doesn't feel complete. But over time, in the next few years, we will finally have a completed game. Like, I just think people are kind of tired of that, bro. And you know what? It makes a lot of sense. I can definitely see why people feel that way. I gotta admit, though, I think Forza Horizon 6 might even be caught in that, because again, Forza Horizon 5, man, they had issues with development in that game. Things were kind of all over the place, and you can tell that when the game is out and all that. You can see it. So people are probably thinking something similar like this of, oh, well, maybe Forza Horizon 6 will be similar, or like it might inherit like the entire gaming industry's distrust in a way. You know what I'm saying? People might be like, okay, well, if all these games are really bad, bro, we've had years of racing games that have not been good, that definitely needed more time or definitely needed work. So I'm excited for Forza, but we still have to kind of be careful. Even looking at the review, like, even if it's really good, because to be real, guys, again, I think the gameplay reveal was awesome. I was loving that, really enjoying it. But even then, people might still be like side-eyed to it and go, maybe it'll be okay. Like, a lot of fans might really want more proof, which I'm thinking they'll do live streams and stuff. I'm hoping they do in the next few months. They like maybe might surprise us or something like that, and I think that's definitely possible. But one thing I was thinking about though, man, is I don't know if Forza Horizon 6 is necessarily being judged in that way. Maybe it's being judged in the context of how the games have been the last few years. You know what I mean? And how like Forza Horizon 5 was. So even people in that are still kind of skeptical if things will work out the way that they want or really be like the game that a lot of players have been looking for that don't end up falling into the insane course of how other games have been, if you know what I'm saying. And here's the thing, I don't really think caution on this is a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to be skeptic about something or, to have skepticism about one of the games or just, kind of have a healthy way of that and just wonder about it. And looking at other games and stuff like that and launches, dude, I think it's pretty dang clear that players are allowed to have that because it's kind of hard to get excited about some games. Like some games have been releasing and you're like, "Oh, this is cool." And you're like, "Oh yeah, no. This definitely needs more time." And then they're like, "Oh, we'll get this game again in tip-top shape in time." And I just think, dude, I think a lot of people probably think about that with every single game that releases now. I mean, heck, dude, I'm kind of in that boat a little bit. I pre-ordered a lot of these games that were definitely not what they were supposed to be, or they could have been a lot better. You paid a ton of money for them. It's not really what you paid for. And I kind of get that, dude. Like I feel like being excited about this game is also very valid. And the reason why I say that, dude, is it's okay to feel the way that people are, man. It's okay to have skepticism about it. You know what? Because if we look back, we can definitely see why that is. Like a lot of games that have been launching, dude, honestly, I have no clue. And I even would look at some of those games and go, man, I spent 90 to $100 on that. That game was worth maybe 20 bucks, if that. And then they try to add microtransactions to it later after it was basically a full-priced game, saying they need to fund it. Well, one of my biggest things with that is if you were trying to fund the game, maybe release it finished. You probably make a lot more money, if you know what I'm saying. And then looking at something like that, being nervous about a new game that even if you're a huge fan of, bro, like you can love Forza forever. Obviously, guys, I'm into this franchise super hard now. So far, I've been loving all of them. I've been playing 5, obviously, 4, 3. I will start playing 2 in the coming weeks and 1 also. Kind of just going through the entire, like, franchise and stuff like that. And I really do feel like players are probably, like, super excited for it, but also nervous at the same time because we're looking and noticing, guys, I have talked about this in other videos, but Forza Horizon 6 is obviously taking cues from the old games, which a lot of players, again, have been wanting. And I feel like a lot of people are super excited for it, but also they're kind of, hanging back a little bit, kind of waiting and seeing how things are executed. And I feel like that really is something that is understandable. But at the end of the day, bro, people really want Forza Horizon 6 to be great. And you know what? That's obviously no surprise. We kind of need a new good racing game in the genre. You know what I'm saying? There's obviously not much. I just feel like maybe they're not ready to trust it yet, or maybe they're probably waiting to see more on the game, or, wondering if they won't take the same things from Forza Horizon 5 and then put it into this game, which I would say 5 years of development, man, is probably a lot better than trying to build the game into COVID and whatever happened back then. A lot of games got screwed up and a lot of things probably got all messed up and all that. And that's probably the biggest thing though, is I feel like so many people are actually really excited, including myself. Like we really are, but the way modern gaming has been though, it kind of has taught players in a way to kind of protect yourself from how disappointing some of this stuff has been. So I feel like players having that mindset going into Forza Horizon 6, man, at the end of the day, it really is understandable. But even then, guys, I gotta admit, I am still super excited for this game. I can't wait to have a new racing game. And I also love Forza so far. I really do love this franchise a lot, getting into it and actually playing the games more often. And seeing that gameplay reveal on 6, dude, it really does make me super hyped up. And I feel like a lot of players are similar. But at the same time, I also feel like a lot of them are hyped up, excited, but also kind of being cautious at the exact same time of it from at least what we have seen so far. We'll probably see a lot more gameplay, different things being showcased. At least I think they would. Do let me know what y'all think, though. Are you super excited and nervous at the same time? Are you kind of in between there? I would say a lot of players are most likely very similar to that, guys, because you know what? Again, that's kind of how things are at this point. Am I wrong?